Alright, so just a quick disclaimer. Just take note that this presentation is purely for education purposes. It does not take into account specific investment objectives, financial situation, or particular needs of any particular person. Okay, so I'm going to dive in the charts pretty soon, but what I'm going to cover today a bit is how do you trade a bit more, I'm trying to cover a bit more intraday setups, especially when it comes to indices. If you look at the current markets, like I mentioned earlier on, a lot of the markets, they don't really have nice medium to long-term trends. So intraday is good to trade intraday and try to grab some pips here and there as well. Okay, and I will cover gold as well, which I mentioned is a bit tricky, especially for the past few weeks, fundamentally at least. Okay, so any of you are new to this webinar? If you are new to this webinar, there's a question box that you can type in. Please say something so that I can slow down or I can go a bit more theory. Because if every one of you have been here before, then I just go jump straight to the charts. Okay, sounds good. So moving along. Okay, let's go to the charts, yeah? Now, let's go to S&P 500, okay? Now, if you look at the weekly chart, okay, if you are a swing or position-based trader, oh, sorry, is it my screen, but the bottom keeps flickering. My screen is not flickering, Mr. Kwan. Maybe you want to restart the GoToWebinar? Any of you having the same problem, screen flickering? Yeah, just try to log out and log in again. Oh, John as well. Give me one moment here. Everything's set up as the same. Wow, everybody yes. Okay, I get your point. Let me see. Is it really bad? Is it bearable? Because I don't see any issues on my side. I might need to log out and log in, which is might not be the most productive way to do it. Let me have a look. Only the bottom part. Okay, just bear with it if you don't mind. Yeah. Yeah. Just bear. I think it should get better. It should get better as time goes on. Okay, but if you can't see the chart, just give me just inform me. Yep. Thanks for highlighting that, Sal. Okay, so if you look at the S&P weekly chart, I mean, you can see that it is in a consolidation, right? So if you are a swing or position-based trader, there's really nothing much to do unless you are at the bottom here, which is support, or at resistance somewhere here, which is resistance. Okay, so in between here is really hard to do. Okay, which is why I spoke to a few clients and traders this week, and they say that, wow, Nabil, you always analyze daily and weekly charts, but this week has been nothing. So what do you do? Now, I'm going to share you something a bit today, which is trading on the indices on intraday basis. It's quite a decent strategy and setup. Similar tools that I use, my price action, my support and resistance, my divergence, and things like that. Okay, so okay, but I just want let me cover top down first. So this is a weekly chart S&P, pretty much similar to all the indices. It seems that we might head back up to previous highs again. And if you look at the daily chart, sorry, let me switch this to the daily chart. Okay, now you can see that it's approaching that resistance level. This is a trendline resistance that I drew, maybe around 2040 or so. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, but it is approaching that resistance level. I would say anywhere around 2040. If I draw a line here, you can see the touches. All right, you see that? So around 2040. Now, what you want to do is, if you're looking for intraday setups, right? The key thing is this: when you're trading indices, pay attention to the first 1 or 2 hours of the market open. So, for example, if you're trading the DAX, it'll be 4 p.m. If you're trading the Hang Seng, it's around 9 to 9:30 p.m. A.m. in the morning. If you are trading the S&P or any US indices, it's around 9:30 as well in the evening. Sorry. So this few 1-2 hours of the opening is very crucial because this is when new money will come in. And what I like to do in the first hour is basically, number one, I want to see whether we are lying in key support and resistance area. So taking the S&P for example, now it doesn't take, it's very obvious, isn't it? If you see this line here and the 2000 level, very obvious. So what I'm hoping for is that we market make a cheeky drop back to 2000 level, and then at around 9:30 when the market open, I'll go down to my 5-minute chart and then I'll try to enter a long trade. So such trades are good, are safer because it's in direction of the longer term trend, number one, and you're trying to buy it off support at the market open. Think about it this way: when a trader, let's say you're working for a big bank and you're trading the indices market, you come into office, you sit down in your chair, you turn on the charts, and you see the price line support, and you see the trend is up. What do you think you'll do? Sell or buy? Buy, right? So it's quite obvious. So, but the thing is, the level must be very obvious. Level must be key. Okay, which is why I'm paying attention at the 2,000 level here. All right. So what am I looking for? Okay, what am I looking for? At least 2,000 level. I will zoom into the 5 minutes or the 15 minutes chart, and basically what I'm looking for is a change or trend. Okay, which you've seen this before. Okay, any change or trend to the long side, whether it's a breakout or a higher high, higher low, or things like that. All right, John, you're right, man. Trader, a lot of trading, a lot of traders getting the X these days because taken over by algorithms and high frequency traders. Yeah, I mean, it is the nature. It is the nature of the market at the moment. So if you have children, I mean, if they're studying finance, make sure they do quant finance. It's really lucrative right now. I used to I studied quant finance, but I was so bad at it. I just relied on my schoolmate who's from China. He's like a wizard when it comes to quant finance. So I'm just the presenter. And he's the brains behind it. So sometimes I wish I'd taken my modules more seriously. But yeah, quant finance is a new thing because a lot of high frequency traders and algos out there. All right, so I mean, so what I'm looking for in the lower term time frame, this is just a very short term intraday trade. That's why I'm talking about 5 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm looking for price action to the long side at the 2,000 level. Okay, but the key thing is that the market need to open at key level. Okay, later I'll show you an example of the Hang Seng that I was spotting today. Okay, so same thing for short. You're just looking for things, the price action like that for you to confirm it. Okay, it's a short-term trade, so please, if you're wrong, get out. All right, you shouldn't have more than 50 points of losses. Okay, but what you're looking for is you're looking at market open at key levels and market to react to it. If it's with the trend, it's even better. All right. Now, one thing that you can use as well if you want to trade very short term are tick charts. You guys are familiar with tick charts? So if you use Pro Real Time, right, you can actually go to ticks and you can go to, I like to use the 400 ticks. I like to use the 400 ticks, okay? I don't really have time to explain what's a tick chart and a normal chart, but a tick chart is something that erases a lot of noise because instead of the candle forming based on the time period, it forms by the number of trades. So if I set a 400 tick chart, means that the candle is formed by 400 trades taking place. Yep, every transaction form a tick. So it's quite interesting, especially if you're trading short term, intraday. I think a tick chart is very useful so that you can see the momentum. You get what I mean? So it irons out a lot of noises. Go Google tick charts and read about it. It's a really useful chart as you're trading intraday. Okay. Again, I'm not deviating anything from my price action or what I usually do. I'm just giving you another perspective in terms of intraday because I was speaking to some clients and I just thought to give you different perspectives so that you can understand what kind of trader you are and what you prefer to take. But one of the things that I do are market open intraday kind of trading. Okay, and I use the 400 tick chart as my lowest time frame. Yep, exactly. John, tick is independent of time. Yep. Okay, so into S&P in terms of the let me go back to a weekly and daily chart. Okay, so I would in terms of the swing setup, there's not much swing setup. We're just grinding higher and higher, higher. Okay, we were sitting at this resistance here. I was surprised that we broke it. We broke it. We were sitting at a resistance at 2,000. I was surprised that we broke it, but we broke it again. So it just wants to do what it wants to do. So sometimes, you know, how many of you, you know, when you're trading, you have this fundamental bias, and you're so stubborn to let go of it, and then the market keeps going higher and higher, higher, and you miss the whole boat. It's possible. It happens to me as well. Okay, like I mean, I was quite sure that the S&P couldn't break the 1950 area, but it broke. Okay, same thing for 2000, but it broke. So you just got to condition your mind to think that as a trader, you follow price like a dog. It's about technical analysis, and you're just protecting yourself in the event you're wrong. Okay, but look at what has happened, just making higher highs, higher lows, and we are in a very nice uptrend on the daily chart. Okay, so pay attention at 2000, the market open. And I'm not surprised if we see go up to 2040 by the end of this week. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Sean. I was waiting to. I wasn't really waiting to short, but I was just waiting to see what the market is doing. Okay, and I was talking to my friends who are full-time traders, and they were just following the price action upwards. Okay, but you guys need to understand when was the change of trend. If you see the daily chart, right, when you broke 1950, you need to understand the market, the daily chart has changed of trend to the upside. The problem with most people, they don't know what's the uptrend, what's the downtrend, then they get stuck. So it changed our trend occurred on the 25th of February when the high of 1840 was broken and it made a pullback, and this was actually a pretty nice trade if you had taken it here. See that? See the pullback here? Okay, so this was a nice change of trend and we are still on the uptrend. Alright? Would you want to short based on MACD reading? Sunil, MACD reading on daily chart? Are you asking on the daily chart? Or the next resistance, is it? Not yet. I mean, if let's say it goes to this 204 resistance, it depends on what the MACD shows then. Right now, the MACD is still converging. It's not diverging. Sorry. So I would like to see what happens at 2040. Okay, but I need to at least wait for the if I'm taking like a swing trade short, I need to at least wait for the 4-hour chart to turn around first. Right now, daily chart is bullish. If you see the 4-hour chart, it's also bullish. Okay, in fact, you can draw some kind of trend line here as well. Okay, so this 4-hour chart needs to turn around first, then I'll be happy to look for shorts. But you're right, Sunil, you're right in the sense that there is divergence forming on the lower time frame already. If you look at the 4-hour chart here, you see a lower high, but the higher high here. You see that? So this is what I call a bearish divergence. Yeah, but I prefer bearish divergence at resistance, okay? Because the previous high that it hit was 2020. If you go back to daily chart, right, I don't see much resistance at the 2020. Not the strongest, again, I would say. So I would like to wait and see what the 2040 is a nicer level of resistance. All right, but you're right. It's only the lower term time frames are showing that it might turn around. But pay attention on what happens at 2000 if the market opens there today. Okay, so that's the S&P for you. Still uptrending very nicely. Let's go to the Dow Jones, the same thing. Nasdaq, the same thing. Let's see. Let's go to the DAX then. Okay, so look, the DAX, exactly the same thing. In fact, for the DAX, last night I was waiting. Not last night, 4 p.m. a couple hours back. I was waiting at the open around the 9860. You see this level here? You guys see it here? Okay, sorry about that. So if you see the DAX daily chart, right, we have a nice uptrend. Okay, now the question is, when did the uptrend form? Here. Okay, it came down, lower low, lower high. So this is all nice downtrend. Okay, higher low here. So the first sign that the reversal is coming. Another high here, and this high was broken. See, this high was broken. So this was the uptrend already. Higher low, and now we make a high high. So this is a nice uptrend on the DAX on the daily chart. Okay, so what happened? I was waiting for the market to open at around the 9860, 9870 area. Okay, but because if you look at this horizontal line, right, it is a key level, isn't it? So uptrend, key level at 4 p.m. market open. I was looking for intraday trade. This is what I did. Okay, so just bear that in mind. 9860 today. So at the 15-minute chart, okay, I was waiting for here 9870, 9860. Did I get the trade? No, because look at what happened at 4 p.m. The thing just bounced up. Okay, it didn't come to my level. I was waiting for it to come to my level, wait for a change of trend, and then take the trade maybe up to the previous high. But it went shy. I think it went to about 9870 or so. Sorry, I think it went to about 9889. Okay, so I missed it by about 10, 20 points. Okay, if you look at the 400 tick chart, this was the area I'm looking for, around the 9870 here. It didn't go there. Okay, if this price action were to occur at my level, oh, I'll be so happy to take it. Okay, because this area here. Now look at this price action on the short-term charts, and if I show you my cheat sheet, I call it a cheat sheet. Okay, on the long side, Tell me which scenario it is, 1, 2, 3, or 4. What do you guys think? So this scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, scenario 4. So based on the 400 tick chart that I showed you on the DAX at 4 p.m. today, which was the turnaround price action that we're looking at? Scenario 1, 2, 3, or 4. Can you guys see it? This area here. John said 3, is it? Let me see what's 3. It's more of a 1 actually. Okay, so let me show you the price action here. So what happens is that it made a lower low, but immediately it made a higher high, and then you can take it at the next higher low here. Okay, this is scenario number 1. So have this price action inside your head for a moment, and look at this. So it made a lower low, it made a higher high, and this was a perfect entry place here. Okay. Of course, on hindsight, it's easy. Sometimes what it does is that might come down and test the bottom again, then mark around, and then start going up again. Okay, it does happen, but I'm just showing you that I'm just showing you how price action textbook style happens time and time again. Okay, so you guys get my intraday setup for indices. All right, the key thing again, level must be strong. All right, so try to use the same strategy for the US Open or for Asia Open or whatever Open. Okay, but it works. All right, so that's the DAX for you. That was what I was eyeing. I was hoping to. In fact, I took some screenshots. I was hoping to get the trade so that I can show it to you guys tonight, but I missed the trade. But nevertheless, this was the kind of setup I was looking for. I would take it if it fell to my level at around 9870, but it didn't. So be it. So let's go back to the daily and weekly charts. Okay, so the DAX. Now, what's the DAX trying to do? If you look at the weekly chart, slightly a bit longer term, you can see that we are at that level of resistance around 10200 area. Okay, so this line is a line in the sand because if it breaks this line, then most probably this channel, we might go to the top of channel. Okay, but if it doesn't and stay below it for longer time, then it might come down. Because on the weekly chart, you see, it's not really a divergence, but look at the price action here. It made a lower low, right? But on the MACD, it's more like a flat level, which means that there's a bit of divergence here, and this is actually a bullish divergence. Okay, on the weekly chart, so it takes time to pan out. Okay, so that's on the weekly chart. So on the daily chart, it's still on the uptrend. Pay attention at the key level at 9870. All right, if the 97 is broken, then look for this trend line level at around the 9700 area. Okay, but I have this drawn on your, in fact, I can extend this for you. All right, so have this drawn on your chart to guide you on how to trade the DAX for the next few days. Okay, if you are not able to break the 10,000 level convincingly for the next few days, I'm not surprised if we come back down and be looking at 9700 soon. Okay, but the first key support is the 9870 level, which I was eyeing for the market open. Okay, so that's the DAX. Let me move on to the Hang Seng. Okay, so Hang Seng weekly chart, we are at the key resistance. It's quite similar to last week. I didn't touch the Hang Seng because I thought it was coming down, but you just keep grinding higher. So Hang Seng at 20400. Look at this previous touch. Okay, look at this previous touch. Let me just delete some of the lines. It's quite messy. Okay, but you can draw some kind of trend line here. Okay, but this level, around 20,000, 20,300, we are at that key resistance level that we're looking out for. In fact, the weekly chart has actually made a higher high. Okay, see this? The weekly chart has actually made a higher high. So there might be a bit of consolidation. It might be turning around soon for the Hang Seng. Okay, let's do the daily chart. It looks quite similar to the DAX, isn't it? Daily chart is a nice uptrend. Again, when was the uptrend started? Here. Do you see this head and shoulders? The neckline was around the 19,500 and it broke higher. Okay, and right now we're lingering the next level of resistance. Okay, but if you draw a line here, not surprising, right? The 20,500 area. You see all the support here, term resistance, and which was why this morning as well. Now this was against a trend. This is a bit more counter trend. This morning you can see what the market tried to do over here. Now, this one thing I want all of you to do tomorrow morning. Hang Seng opens at 9:30 a.m., right? I have made a daily double top at the 20,500 area. Okay, so the daily is an uptrend. Okay, but we've made a double top, so it shows signs that the uptrend the uptrend is a bit waning. All right, and we are the key resistance at about 20,500. If you go on the 4-hour chart, okay, you can see that, like what Sunil pointed out on the DEX just now, higher high here, massive lower high here. Okay, so bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. And you can see again some kind of double top scenario that you can see on daily chart as well. Okay, you also have your trend line here, don't forget, yeah? I drew it on the daily chart as well. So the trade plan for tomorrow morning is, if you think that this is a good resistance, you can try to plan for shorts and take it down to the trend line support around the 20,000 level, 20,000 to 20,100 level. Okay, but what you want to do is, if you look at the 15-minute chart, let's go to 1-hour chart first, sorry. Okay, if you look at the 1-hour chart, you want to draw your support and resistance lines. Okay, and what I want you to do is go to your 1 hour, 15-minute, your 400 tick chart just before the market open. Try to plan your trade, and if a key support is broken, right, okay, like this level that I drew here, I'm not surprised we end up at 20,100. Again, your trade plan is intraday, so it's only for the first 1-2 hours or so. Alright, try not to keep it past the lunchtime period, because this is where the momentum has waned already. I want the fresh funds. I want the fresh funds to know what the market is doing. Okay, so pay attention at this level, because we are a key visit. What I'm hoping for is for the market to make a push up around this level here. Okay, and then the Hong Kong market opens at this level. If I see the short-term charts turning downwards, I'll be more than happy to try to take it down to the trend line at 20,100. Okay, that's my Hang Seng trade plan for tomorrow morning if you're planning to trade the market open. Okay, the reason why I say I'm hoping that it comes back up here, because it's better risk to reward. Okay, so at least I can, and I know it's nearer to resistance. Okay, if market opens where we are right now, it's not really resistance yet. I want it to be nearer to the resistance at the market open, and that's where I pounce. Okay, because don't forget, all this trade planning comes from the fact that it is from a double top scenario on the daily chart. But this is a counter trend trade, okay, so just be a bit careful. Okay, you need to understand, you need to prepare your mind, what are you trying to trade, which time frame, trend or counter trend, what's your trade plan. Please do not, if it breaks a new high, please do not stay in a short trade, okay? You have the discipline to cut it out. Alright, discipline is a big part of trading. So be a very disciplined and sharp trader, and always plan a trade. Okay, something different a bit today, just thought to spice it up, because I mean, a lot of the longer term trends are not there for the taking. So have a look. Alright, so just have a look. If you guys have any questions on this intraday trade plans, we can always discuss it the next time we have the webinar. Okay, so that's the Hang Seng for you. Now, any other index that you want me to go through? I'm taking slow today because I want you to explain the process of intraday trading and the thought process behind planning top down. Okay, that's a very I mean basically whatever trade you take, whether it's counter trend or trend, you need to have a proper trade plan. Don't go guns blazing. It doesn't work like that. Okay, in trading, be a sniper. Don't be a machine gunner. All right. So, any other trade that you're looking at? John, you want to start a chat group? Sure. Why not? I mean, I think my marketing, we tried to use our Facebook as a area for trade discussion, but it wasn't. People don't really chat much on Facebook. Yeah, if you have any ideas, yes, drop me an email. I'll pitch it to my marketing team. Yeah, but I mean, I hope the webinar is useful. I mean, there's at least you can look, plan your trades for the next days or next week or so. Okay, any other indices before I move on to FX? Okay, if there's no other indices, I'm gonna start. South Australia. Wow. Mr. Lee, gold. Gold? I'll cover that last part. Commodities last. Australia. Okay, that's something new. I'm not looked at the Australia index for months. Let's see whether I can find it here. Let me do a analysis of the cuff. Looks a bit like the FTSE. I never liked FTSE because it's so messy. The Australia 200 looks quite similar actually. Messy. Let me see. The checks. Okay, we have nice support here. Give me a moment, yeah, Sal. I've not seen this for months. Let me just get a bit of a feeling of what's going to do. I really don't like the price action though. At least for the longer term time frame. So messy. Don't like it at all. Okay. I mean, the only thing I can tell is consolidating in a little um, downtrend channel. And the resistance that we're looking at is around the 5200 level. Let me have a look at the daily chart. Messy, messy, messy. Now, anything specific you're looking at this chart, Sal? Oh, Mr. Kwan, sorry. Because it's just so messy. Yeah, it means, but look at the trend. It comes from, it make a higher high, and then make a lower low, make another higher high, and then make a double bottom, and then now we're at a higher high. So I think this is a bit of you definitely need the higher term time frame to try to see what's trying to do because it's so messy. Goodness. Look at the weekly chart. Okay, so use this weekly chart as a guide, I would say. But if you are looking to short it, I would say it needs to break the support at around 5050 first before you can take it down. Okay, but it's a bit mixed. I think the momentum is still slightly to the upside on the daily chart. But even if you want to buy it, I would suggest waiting for it to break this 5200 level first. Okay, intraday wise, right, Mr. Kwan, if you plan to use the intraday strategy which I just shared, you might want to look at the first hour at the Australia Open and see what happens at this level. This is a quite key level to me, around the 5050 level. Alright, see what happens at this level and see whether the market will start going up. Okay, because the intraday trade plan, if you see the short-term chart is going to upside, you can always target the previous high, maybe next to 5180, and that's your 100-point trade there. Okay, most of the indices I would try to take it short term now. It's just that there's no really nice swing or position trade setup. Yeah. Yeah, John, exactly. Yeah, it drives me crazy, Mr. Kwan. Yeah, it drives you crazy. There's so many other things to trade. Okay, but I would say keep it short term. I mean, the whole base, why I shared the short term strategy this time around, because there's a lot of indices, most of the indices look the same. Not much long term direction. So have a look at the 5050 level at the Australia Open tomorrow morning. See what happens. All right. If not, nothing much to analyze actually. Just stuck in this channel. Okay. So that's the Australia 200. Okay, let me take a 10-second pause before I move on to Eurodollar.